Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to a brand new video on Prize Picks. Today I got plays for Monday. I would say NFL Monday and NBA Monday in this video. So I got 5 plays in this video. I think it's going to be 2 NFL and 3 NBA. So we got a lot going on. But first up, do me a favor, drop a like on this video. Literally takes you 2 seconds, completely free. So go ahead and do that. It helps me out a lot. And now let's move into talking about the winnable. So the winnable is where I send out free plays, bonus free plays for you guys. Usually it is a sportsbook play. Oftentimes on this channel, I try to do player prop plays. It is a sportsbook play this time on the winnable. But basically all you have to do is hit the first link in the description or just click that link up there. It's all typed up there, and then sign up for the free plan. Like I said, completely free. Just click subscribe and you are good to go. Now, let's get into the recap from the last few days. In the month of October, the VIP is doing great. We are up just a little under 50 units since the beginning of the month, and I haven't fully updated the spreadsheet since the plays aren't fully cashed out from today. As I'm recording this, the Steelers are still live against the Packers, and that game looks like it could go anyway. So this isn't completely up to date, but it is up to date as of a couple hours ago. So very, very solid. The free play locks, we were on a ridiculous 5-1 run, which unfortunately has now dropped to 5-2. Tua was one of my favorite plays from yesterday. As you guys know, I gave it away in all my free pick videos, and it actually did not come through for us. But the good thing is, basically every other free pick I sent out in that video cash. So if you watched yesterday's video, you are probably laughing and to the bank because we greened out so many plays. Luka obviously did not end up playing. It looks like he's going to be out for the whole week, but hopefully he gets back soon. Tua missed. Matthew Golden, like I said, is still live right now, so I don't know if he's going to cash or not. Stroud cashed, Dowdle cashed, Giannis cashed, Wemby cashed, and AD cashed. I know I took 3 bigs on rebounds because the line was just so low for all of them, and they all greened out. Dowdle also hit against the Bills in a blowout loss. Stroud, his line was at 206. He got over 310 yards in this game. That was the best read I could have made. And it was honestly just a very spot on day. So we're going to try to do that again on Monday. As you guys know, we got 1 NFL game, and I think we got like 5 to 8 NBA games. There's quite a few NBA games. But let's first up talk about the NFL. So in this one, the Commanders are obviously very banged up. You got Terry McLaurin coming off an injury, Deebo Samuel also coming off an injury, so they do have lines up, but I'm not exactly sure how much burn they're going to get in this one. They were limited at practice on Friday, which was the last I've heard, and then obviously we can really know what's going on. But even if they are going to play, I don't think they're going to be at full health. And somebody who definitely isn't going to play is Jaden Daniels, right? Jaden Daniels is confirmed out for this game. Marcus Mariota will suit up as quarterback for them. And if we see how Mariota did last game for the Commanders, or last few games, I guess Jaden Daniels has been out for a little while. He hit against the Raiders, he missed against the Falcons, and he missed badly against the Cowboys, right? 63 passing yards. But the good thing is, guys, good news is we're not touching the Commanders' passing offense. Against a pretty solid Chiefs defense, we're not going to touch the Commanders' passing offense. Instead, we're heading over to their rushing offense. And I like Ja'Cory Cross-Game-Morant, not over on yards, but over on attempts. So think to yourself, you're the Washington Commanders play caller, right? What are you going to do? You don't have Jaden Daniels, right? It's not as easy as it always is. But you got Marcus Mariota at quarterback. He's been playing terribly. And then who are his targets out there? It's a Terry McLaurin who's banged up, a Deebo Samuel who's banged up, and basically nobody else, right? Luke McCaffrey, I guess you could say, is the third option. Zach Ertz, it's not good, right? It's not good at all. They're going to be running a lot of offense through JCM, and we have been accustomed to thinking of this Chiefs defense as a solid run defense. I've heard that phrase so often. The Chiefs have a good run defense, right? You hear that because for the last 5 to 6 years, it's been the truth. Now it is exactly, if you look at the stats, that's not really the case. They sneakily have not as good a run defense as they used to, and they're really just surviving based off of the name, right? The Chiefs run defense sounds like a scary name because it has been scary for the last 6 years. Now if you look at the stats, they're actually very good in man, which they don't play all that much. In the zone, right, against the run, they are 26th worst in the NFL, right? So they're not very good. They're a bottom 10 run defense. Honestly, they're not anything terrible like the Chicago Bears, like the Dallas Cowboys, which, by the way, Ja'Cory Cross-Game-Morant greened out against the Bears and the Cowboys. But they're still a bottom 10 defense against the run. I think JCM is going to get quite a bit of burn here. We need him to get 12 carries in this game. It's very possible, especially when the people I say commanding, right? The people who are, I would say, competing with him for touches on the ground are Marcus Mariota himself and then Deebo Samuel. Chris Rodriguez not a factor. Jaden Daniels, obviously not a factor, right? So JCM's going to get the burn this game. Let's move on to the second play, which is going to be from the Chiefs side of the ball. We're taking Rashee Rice. I mean, man, he looked just so good against the Raiders. He had 7 receptions on 10 targets, and I think he had a pair of touchdowns as well. Yes, 2 touchdowns. I'm not remembering that wrong. He only had 42 yards in this game, but I'm taking him on the over for receiving yards. Patrick Mahomes' line is probably the scariest line out there right now. Patrick Mahomes is projected 274.5 passing yards. And no, I'm not going to tell you guys to take the over there because that could be a massive trap. He could have 260 yards and they could win by 25 points and he would go under that line. That is a ridiculously high line, but it's also Pat Mahomes. So I don't feel like taking the under because I know he could hit that in 1/2 if he just wanted to, right? So instead, what are we going to do? We're going to take the opposite side of the ball, Rashee Rice, right? Rashee Rice is going to be the one on the receiving end of a lot of these passes. Who is he competing for targets with? Travis Kelce, of course, big competition. Xavier Worthy, who has been kind of underwhelming the last couple weeks, right? As you guys can see there. So I like Rice on the over at 67.5 receiving yards. If you want to take him on receptions, I'm cool with that too. His line is up at 6.5. I think that might be a little bit high, but I'm just going to go ahead and take him on receiving yards. If you don't want to do that, I like him on the longest reception too. But the point is, Rashee Rice is going to get more and more involved into this offense as the weeks go by, right? It's not like he was injured. That's one thing you got to keep in mind, right? When a player is injured and they come back, maybe they come back a little slow and then they come slowly on the rise, right? Rashee Rice was not injured. He was suspended. He was in the gym. He was locked in, ready for his NFL 2025 debut. And he popped off. 2 touchdowns, 7 catches. He's just going to keep rising on prime time now, right? Last game was at 1 p.m. Eastern. Nobody really watched that game. It was 31-0. He's now here to announce himself on primetime. Rashee Rice, I am back. And he wants to show the world why the Chiefs are actually Super Bowl favorites right now, even though they're only 4-3, right? They're my pick to win the Super Bowl as of right now. Anyways, let's move into the NBA because we've been absolutely killing it in the NBA and we've got a ton of games. So first up, Bryce Sensabaugh. This is a name where you're not going to hear a lot of other players talking about him. A lot of YouTubers, I should say, talk about him because everybody wants to take, the popular players and they don't really do their research. But Bryce Sensabaugh is a breakout candidate, right? We were saying this all summer long. If you watch my NBA channel, Bryce Sensabaugh looks like the next major player, right? He was popping off towards the back end of last season, and then he comes in this season and he does exactly that. 20 points against the Clippers, 15 against the Kings, and these are on pretty good shooting percentages, right? 3 of 7 from 3, and then 3 of 7 from 3 in that game one as well, right? So he's getting at least a few 3-pointers every single game, quite a bit of burn on this Jazz team, and this Jazz team has been great, right? They have not disappointed at all, and now his line is up at 12.5. I think this one's going to be an over, right? So we're taking him on the over against the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns, as you guys can see down there in the bottom, 29th in defensive rating this season in the NBA. So they're absolutely terrible according to, I would say, the stats this season. Of course, we haven't had that many games this season to base it off of. But as you guys can see, Utah is, it's a 1-point spread, so it's basically a pick-em coin toss in this game. 232 for the total, which is a relatively high total. I expect there to be quite a bit of points in this game. I wouldn't hate the over on that one, but the play right here is Sensabaugh, 12.5 points. We like him on the over. That's literally 3 threes, right? For his 9 points, usually gets that 1 bucket and then a pair of free throws. That is very easy to get over the course of 4 quarters in what should be a very close game. So Sensabaugh, that's play number 1. Let's move into the next game. We're going to the Brooklyn Nets, and a lot of us like to stay away from the Nets. I do too, but when a player like Cam Thomas is on his game, you don't want to play against him. You don't want to bet against him, right? I still think the Rockets are obviously going to win this game. They're just that good, but the Nets and Cam Thomas specifically look great. So in this one, I don't know why this is not fully updated, right? I'll show you guys what the Nets have done recently because the Nets have been stinking it up, right? But against the San Antonio Spurs, Cam Thomas popped off. 32 minutes, 2 rebounds, 0 assists, 40 buckets. 40 points, I should say. Not buckets, but he was straight buckets in this game, right? It was absolutely insane what Cam Thomas was doing. And if you watch any of those highlights, you'll see he looks like the best he's ever played, right? He looks like he's on the peak of his form. This is exactly what the Nets wanted from him, originally what they've wanted from him this whole time. So we're taking Cam Thomas right here I mean, it's a tough matchup, I guess you could say, against the Houston Rockets, but they haven't been all that great, right? They're great against defending the bigs, I guess I could say that. But then Amen Thompson's a good defender. Alp Sengun, Kevin Durant, not exactly the best, right? Alp is great. I'll say Alp is great against the center position, right? Against a shiftier guard like Cam Thomas, you could get a lot of his points from floaters and mid-range and stuff like that. And even from behind the arc, honestly. I think Cam Thomas could have a huge game in this one. And the line is only at 24, right? We only need him to get 24 points in this game. I think it's very possible. Now, let's move into play number 3, which is Ja Morant. This one I love a ton, honestly. This one I actually feel like it might be my favorite play of the night. Because Ja on assists has been insane, right? He started off very selfish play. Honestly, I don't want to say selfish because it kind of seems like a bad word, but when you're a player like Ja and you know you can get it done on your own, selfish is not always a bad thing, right? So we only had 3 assists in that first game against the Pelicans. They obviously won that game. Then they lost in a blowout against the Miami Heat. They lost by 32 points. Not a good game, but he only had 6 rebounds in this one. Then they won in a blowout against the Pacers. 25-point win margin, and he had 8 assists. So it's clear to see that when the Grizzlies are at their best, Ja Morant is not just playing as a flashy point guard who can dunk the ball and break people's ankles. He is passing the ball and getting his entire team involved because ball movement is key in 2025, right? The Warriors figured this out 10 years ago, and if you're not moving the ball nowadays, you're behind, right? Ja Morant is the leader of this Grizzlies team. They're starting to move the ball a lot more. This is exactly what we like to see. And if you guys see, the Warriors defense has allowed quite a few assists recently. So Reeves played them on opening night. His line was at 5.5 and he had 9 assists, right? Jamal Murray played them. His line was at 5.5. He had 10 assists. Then Drew Holiday played him. His line was also at 5.5. He had 11 assists. Ja's line is just a little bit up now at 6.5. I think this one's going to be great for him. The Warriors seem like the kind of team to allow a lot of assists. What does that really look like? That looks like players are switching a lot, right? Players are double teaming you. You're going to have to pass the ball. Ball movement against the Warriors is what's working. And that's interesting because the Warriors love to use ball movement on the other side of the court when they're on offense. And it seems like on defense, that's exactly where you can go ahead and attack them. But yeah, that's all I got for the video. There's quite a few plays in there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Drop a comment, drop a like. That's all I got. I'll see you in the next one once we cash.